All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we are taking a deep dive into willpower.
Willpower.
Yeah, willpower. And, you know, I think we all struggle with it, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's tough.
Really tough.
So we're going to be looking at some excerpts from this source called The Evolving Understanding of Willpower,
Okay, cool.
which I thought was really interesting. Um, we always think about willpower like it's this limited resource, right?
Right,
It's
yeah.
like you wake up in the morning, you've got, 100 willpower points.
Yeah, full tank.
And then every time you resist a temptation,
Uh-huh.
it's like you lose a few points.
Yeah, like, saying no to that donut in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Except there goes 10 points.
And then by the end of the day, you're just like completely drained.
You just give in to
You
everything.
can like give me all the pizza.
You give me all the cookies.
Yeah. So, but this source is making me think like maybe that's not the whole story.
Interesting.
Maybe it's not just this like finite thing that we have to like ration out throughout the day.
Right, yeah. So what does it say?
That's what I was hoping you could help us unpack a little bit. So, what makes this old view of willpower kind of outdated? What's wrong with it?
Yeah, I think, that traditional view, like you said, seeing it as this finite resource, um, it can be really limiting. It can make us feel like we're constantly fighting this uphill battle against ourselves, like we're destined to fail.
Right. It's almost like setting yourself up for failure, really.
Exactly. So this new perspective is saying, hey, maybe it's not just about willpower being this limited thing. Maybe it's more about how we view it, our mindset and motivation.
Okay. So you're saying, like, if I think I have more willpower, I might actually have more.
Potentially.
Yeah.
It's about kind of shifting that internal dialogue, right? Instead of saying, I don't have the willpower, what if you said, how can I find the willpower for this?
Huh. So instead of like white knuckling it, through every challenge, you're like, I can shift my thinking to make it easier.
Exactly, because this source talks about how our understanding of willpower is always evolving, right? So it's not set in stone. We're learning more and more about how our minds work and how we can tap into that power.
So it's more about like working with ourselves, not against ourselves, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's about being kind of a coach to yourself rather than a drill sergeant.
I like that, a coach.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? Like how do we coach ourselves to have more willpower?
Well, one thing this source talks about is strengthening our positive impulses.
Positive impulses. What are those?
So think about it this way. Instead of just focusing on resisting temptation, what if we focused on making the positive choice more appealing?
Okay, so like instead of just saying, no, I can't have that donut, I should say, I'm choosing to eat this delicious, healthy fruit salad.
Yeah, because you're focusing on the positive aspects of that healthier choice, right? Maybe how good it'll make you feel or how much energy you'll have. And those positive feelings can actually fuel your willpower, make it easier to stay on track.
Hmm, that's interesting.
And it's not just about visualization. Setting small, achievable goals can also be super helpful. Each time you reach a goal, it's like a little victory, a boost to your willpower.
Yeah, I can see that. So like instead of trying to change everything at once, I should just focus on like one small thing at a time.
Exactly. Because each small win builds momentum, reinforces that belief in your own ability to make changes.
Wow, this is really making me rethink how I approach willpower. It's kind of exciting, actually.
Right. It's empowering
Yeah.
because it's not about some magical ability some people have and others don't. It's about understanding how our minds work and learning strategies to work with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we've covered a lot of really interesting ground here today.
Yeah.
Would you say, what are the biggest takeaways for our listeners?
Yeah, I think the key takeaway is this. Our understanding of willpower is evolving. We're moving beyond that old limited resource model.
Yeah,
It's more dynamic. It's about our mindset, our motivations, our beliefs. It's about being a coach to ourselves.
exactly. Yeah, and I think that's a really empowering message, right? It's like we have more control than we think. So for all our listeners out there, if willpower is more about our mindset and not just about like white knuckling it through every temptation, what new possibilities does that open up for you? What could you achieve if you truly believed in your own ability to change? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive. It's been a pleasure as always.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.